Ray J has exposed the Kardashians. He claims that the tape that they had that leaked was Kim's idea, and her mother, Kris Jenner, was part of the deal they had to leak the tape. He's never even had these tapes in his possession. He claims that Kim kept these tapes in a Nike box under her bed. Recently, Kim has made new accusations about Ray J on her Hulu show, claiming that he was going to release some tape that they had from the past, which he's never had in the first place. She did this all for her show, and Ray J has proof. He released DMs between he and Kim where he calls her out for this behavior and stands up against her because someone is clearly lying here. So let's get into it. It looks like Ray J is pissed off and he is unleashing on the Kardashians. He went to the Daily Mail and he gave them an exclusive interview where he tells them how he really feels. There's a lot to unpack from the title of this article. Kim K kept leaked tapes in a Nike shoebox under her bed. Ray J is now speaking out after 14 years in the shadows to reveal a second tape does exist, but she has the only copy. And she also accuses the Kardashians of making billions from pretty much slandering his name. Ray J is also calling out Kris Jenner because he claims that she was the person who facilitated this deal to get the tape released, and she's been a part of the whole fiasco. Let's go back in time and talk about the beginning of their relationship, because Kim K and Ray J got together in 2002 and they were both 21 years old. They made their tape during her birthday celebration, and it was released in 2007. There's been a narrative that Ray J has these tapes and he's been the person who has leaked it out to the press, but that is completely false, and he's here to set the narrative straight. Ray J says he's never possessed a copy of any of the tapes they've made together. Kim's had them the entire time. One of the reasons why Ray J is calling out the Kardashians now is because they're pushing another storyline with their Hulu show about this tape and making him the villain all over again.
This is supposed to be unreleased footage from my old sex tape. The last thing that I want as a mom is for my past to be brought up 20 years later. This is some real embarrassing shit, and I need to deal with it, and I will deal with it. I just cannot believe this is happening right now.
Ray J was quoted saying, "I've never leaked anything. I've never leaked a tape in my life. It has never been a leak. It's always been a deal and a partnership between Kris Jenner and Kim and me. We've always been partners since the beginning of this thing." Kim Kardashian is known for her tape. It's part of her identity, her reputation, her legacy. People look back on it and they compare it to what she's achieved now, and it's just part of her entire storyline. Ray J claims that Kim was actually inspired by her friend Paris Hilton because Paris released, or a tape at least leaked of Paris's, where she was getting intimate with someone, and Kim saw that happen. And you guys know that Kim was once upon a time working for Paris. Here's a throwback clip of them together being hounded by the paparazzi. Well, at least Paris was being hounded by the paparazzi.
Can I get my picture with you? Steve, come here. This is my husband. Come on, pick it up. You gotta take a picture of me. Here.
Let's pick it up, guys. Get a space. You ready?
How'd it come out? Good?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm sorry to bother you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. We're from Massachusetts, our first time here. So.
Hi. Have fun.
What a time to be alive back in 2006. And you could tell that Kim was just there observing and probably dreaming up a career like Paris Hilton's. But back in 2006, she was working as Paris's stylist and she was helping her organize her wardrobe.
I go to my clients' homes and I help them clean out their closets, and we take whatever they don't want and I sell it for them on eBay.
So Kimberly was dating Ray J, and she was also friends with Paris, working for Paris, so they were all kind of connected, and Kim was obviously inspired by Paris's tape, by her success, by her fame, and she wanted the same thing. Ray J told the Daily Mail that this tape that they did was something that happened on their trip to Cabo for her birthday, and they were doing something extra in their hotel room. Kim claims she didn't want to do the tape, but Ray J says now that Kim embraced the idea and pretty much hired her mother, Chris, to organize its release through Vivid Entertainment, a process he had little to do with. The eventual contract, which was signed by both Ray J and Kim, was for 3 videos, including 2 tapes, one made in Cabo San Lucas, which that is a crazy place. Like, if you ever go to Cabo, whew. And then another one created in Santa Barbara, and then a third tape, which would be like a little bit of Cabo footage. Only one tape, the video shot in Cabo, was ever released. Ray J claims all of the other tapes that they had together were kept by Kim. He said she kept them all. She had to go and find that tape and then present it, the one that they presented to Vivid Entertainment. I never had a tape in my possession in our whole relationship. I never had a single one at my house. She kept them at her house. She always had all the tapes in a Nike shoebox under her bed, which is just kind of funny to imagine. This part is kind of random, but he said, I'm sure she's got bigger beds now and better boxes. That's how it all came about. Once I pitched the idea to her, just playing around a little bit, that's when she jumped on the idea about, I guess, like doing a tape, and talked to her mom about it, and it was out of his hands from there. So maybe Ray J wanted to do it or mentioned it in passing, and then once Kim got the idea, she was like, wait, just like Paris, and she thought this would be an awesome idea. Let me get my mom on board. Ultimately, Ray J regrets his role in releasing the tape after he was publicly blamed for leaking it, and he was unable to correct the record, to say his truth, because of the contract he had with them that he signed without having a proper lawyer. So he was screwed in this situation, and Ray J has been blamed for this. He says this entire situation and this narrative that he released and leaked the tape in spite of Kim K, she's playing the victim card. This whole situation has ruined his career and his relationships and left him feeling like he wanted to take his own life. Ray J said the final straw was when he saw that this whole situation, this nightmare he was living in the past, has now resurfaced and is being republicized through this Hulu show, and he's again the villain for the second time.
Ray J's manager is claiming he has a sex tape of us in Santa Barbara.
And no, that's not season 1 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Yep.
But it is giving us major throwback vibes.
It is giving major throwback vibes, and we'll actually go back to the past in a minute. But Kim was very emotional about this on her Hulu show. Everyone was pretty much watching. I don't know if ever. Actually, comment below. Did you watch their Hulu show? Because a lot of people saw this, and again, it did reignite this anger for Ray J. Kim even went as far as to say that she was going to pursue legal action against Ray J because of this random ad on this game that her son came across. Like, he came across this ad, it mentioned a possible additional tape, and now there's this whole situation with Ray J and his manager, and again, he seems like the bad guy from the show.
4 kids. I can't go through this again. This was like 20 years ago. I'm not going to go through this again. I know the right attorneys this time. I know exactly what to do this time. I'm not going to let this happen to me again. So we're going to get on top of this. I have all the time, all the money, and all of the resources to burn them all to the ground.
Kim has all the time, all the money, all the resources to burn Ray J to the ground, but he claims at this point he's already been burnt. There's nothing more you can do, and there's only the truth to tell. He says the only copies of any tapes that still exist are with Kim. She knows there's nothing else. I have no tape to leak. I never leaked a tape, and I don't have a plan to ruin them. If you guys commented below and you said you did watch the Hulu show, you may have seen that at one point Kanye delivered like a suitcase with a computer in it, and this computer had all of the footage that Ray J supposedly had to leak. At this point, Kanye and Kim are broken up. She is fully with Pete Davidson, and he is on the show and delivering a package to Kim that has this laptop, and he claims that he's no longer going to be extorted by Ray J and he's protecting his family.
After I went and got the laptop from Ray J myself that night, right, and then got on a red eye, I met this man at the airport, then got on a red eye, came back, delivered it to her at 8 a.m. in the morning, and then I gave it to her, and she cried when she saw it. You know why she cried when she seen that laptop? Because it represents how much she's been used.
So Kanye's trying to act like a superhero here. He's trying to win back Kim Kardashian. But Ray J says in reality, this was not the case. Even though Kanye claims that he was extorted, Ray J says that he never asked to be paid and he never received any money. He was happy to pass off this laptop. They had a 4-hour meeting with Kanye. So Ray J and Kanye met for 4 hours at a private terminal in LAX. They spoke father to father while Kanye sat on the floor and looked at everything on the laptop, which he then took with him when he left. Kim later claimed on the show that the laptop just contained a video of Kim and Ray J eating at a restaurant, but Ray J says that's untrue. He said it wasn't a tape. It was a lot of pictures and a mini video and a lot of proof that we've been talking over the years. They've split since 2006. If you send me an email in 2008, the computer doesn't change the date on it. Oh, so he's claiming that they were talking throughout the years after they broke up. So, wow, it looks like so in 2007, Kim got into contact. Kanye could see we were talking consistently in 2007, 8, and 9 through her sending me texts and videos and stuff. Ooh, so they've never really stopped talking. And it doesn't seem like there was ever a tape. It was just a lot of pictures and a little mini video. I can't even imagine Kanye sitting down at LAX on the ground just going through all of this stuff. He must have felt rage inside because he is low-key obsessed with Kim K. But I do feel bad for Ray J because Kim has built a career with her previous show off of that situation and the controversy around it, and now she's got a new show. She's doing it all over again, and like, what is he to do? Just sit back and just receive a ton of hate from people who believe that he is currently threatening her? And I want to remind you guys of the first episode of the Keeping Up with the Kardashians, because they literally start off by talking about her tape.
So I just got a call from Tyra Banks people, and they want you to go on the Tyra Banks show.
Do you want me to go on Tyra?
Uh-huh.
Tyra Banks has asked me to be on her show next week, and I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I love Tyra.
I know. How cool would that be?
Why would Tyra Banks want Kim K on her show? I mean, at this point, everyone would love to have Kim on their show, but like back then, there's no reason. She was pretty much a nobody.
There's just one little catch.
What?
You'd have to talk about the tape.
One of the things that Tyra's going to want to talk about is the sex tape. When I first heard about Kim's tape, as her mother, I wanted to kill her. But as her manager, I knew that I had a job to do.
As her manager, I knew I had a job to do. Like, Chris knew exactly what she was doing there.
I don't want to talk about it.
I know, but you could just, be honest and say how you feel and...
Kind of just set the record straight.
Yeah, you could do that.
That was with my boyfriend of 3 years that I was very much in love with, and whatever we did in our private time was our private time, and never once did we think that it would get out.
Kim said, "Never did we once think that this would get out." That completely contradicts everything that Ray J has said, and the whole situation where they made a deal with this entertainment company. What do you guys think? Comment below. Do you take Ray J's word on it that they and Kris Jenner was a part of the release of this tape, or do you think that it just leaked? I don't know. It just doesn't really add up to me. It doesn't seem like it would just leak, or that Ray J would go and leak it. So Kim was out and about doing all of this press, promoting her show and herself off of the controversy of this tape, while Ray J has to remain silent. So Kim was on her press tour, and honestly, even on her show, the way that she spoke about the situation didn't seem as traumatizing as sometimes she likes to make it seem. Like, watch Courtney and all of them joke about this. I mean, this is a throwback clip.
I'm gonna be Tyra, and you're gonna be Kim Kardashian. So, what do you do for a living? Tell me.
I own a clothing store and I'm a wardrobe stylist.
Why did you make a sex tape?
Because I was horny and I felt like it.
So there were moments like that where you know, they would joke about it, and then there were times where Kim would get super emotional speaking about this tape and the possibility of future tapes coming out, which confuses me because they had a contract for multiple tapes. So I'm just confused. I'm like, did she not sign that contract? Is she acting for the show? Like, what really did happen?
I've already been through this, and I don't want to go through this again. Please don't cry. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, Kim. I don't know what to do.
Why did she even put this tape out to begin with? If she did put it out, was it something that was used against her as blackmail and it just happened to kickstart her career, or did she need money for something? Because there was a situation that Kim got herself in back then, and it did not play out in her favor, and I have a feeling that she ended up settling with Ray J's family. So the Kardashians, Kim and her sisters, allegedly stole from Brandy and Ray J, the man she was dating at that time. Kim was actually working as a stylist for Brandy, which seems convenient because she's dating the brother and working as a stylist for the sister. Like, it seems like she was really working the networking in LA at this point.
Got into styling because my best friend is Brandy, and we'd always shop together. She'd always ask me to be, you know, oh, you have to help me out, be my stylist, and I'd never assisted a stylist before. I never went to school for it. I never, you know, really knew what the job really entailed, so I just kind of blew it off, and we'd always shop together. And one day she called me and was like, will you be my stylist? And I said, sure. You know, she'd always said it. I thought she was kidding. And the next day her record company called me and hired me, and like a week later we left for a 3-week promotional tour in Europe, and I had to dress her and her dancers.
So this was probably a great time for Kim because she's out here using their credit cards and building up her business. They stole $120,000 by using Brandy's credit card, working as an assistant and a stylist to Brandy, which just doesn't make any sense to me. They ended up actually using this money to stock up their stores, their Dash stores, to, I guess, to have a business, but also to have a storyline, because the show was a big part of their storyline early on in the seasons. Before social media really picked up, which it was around that time, but it wasn't like everywhere. I mean, everyone's on it now, but back then, I mean, they had their show, they had their store, and it was like a classic reality show. In 2009, the case was eventually settled, which kind of makes me think, okay, so if Kim was talking to Ray J in 2006, 7, 8, like 9, like, so she was talking to him during this time where they ended up settling, which makes me think that, you know, Kim probably paid back the fees, the credit card bill, and maybe a little extra using the money she made from this tape. In the grand scheme of things, Kim made a lot off of this tape, a whole reputation, but at the time, I wouldn't doubt it if there was a reason why she ended up signing a deal with an entertainment company, because she needed the cash to pay off their family. Because of everything that Ray J has gone through, he hasn't been able to get work at America's Got Talent. They don't want him on Dancing with the Stars. They don't want him anywhere. He's pretty much blacklisted from Hollywood because he's known as the man who leaked this tape and screwed over Kim K, which isn't a good look for anyone. I mean, if you're going to go and leak a tape of someone, that is so violating, but in reality, she probably got a pretty paycheck, and she got away with framing this man as someone who did such a thing, which again has tainted his reputation and has led him to a deep depression and feeling like he wants to take his own life. And honestly, we need to get to the text messages, because he decided he wanted to share some text messages with Daily Mail because they show how Kim really feels. So at this point, Ray J is specifically upset because Kim made a joke about a certain toy going inside of her, and it involved Ray J, and Ray J was not keen to that. At this point, Ray J and Kim hadn't spoken for a decade, but he contacted her through Instagram because of this whole Hulu segment involving him. Ray J said, I felt like this was her only chance to make it right, and in these texts, I demand her to call me immediately or I'm going to go and tell my story. So let's go through some of these texts together. So he says, "Why are you playing games, Kim? I am nothing but a team player. We all had an agreement, and now you're trying to drag my name for your new show, and that's not cool." Cool with a K. Oh my gosh. It's effed up my business and relationships. When we sat down with Blank and your mom, we planned this all together. Wow, so he's really saying it all there. All of the videos and pics and texts from me and you was because I was trying to make you feel okay and better, and I realized it was a promo stunt for you. Wait, what? So he's claiming that whole moment was a promo stunt for the show, and that she played it off as like, I just want all the receipts, so there's like nothing out there. So he did it out of the kindness of his heart, not knowing that it was filmed and going to be this whole huge segment. So now this has put him in a threatening situation. That is actually so disrespectful and just like traumatizing to him. Now I understand why he's texting in all caps. He actually calls her out for fake crying on camera, claiming that she's just trying to ruin him and he needs to call her ASAP or he will go and expose their family, which is what he did. He said, "I know how promo goes and I get it 100%, but it's gotten out of control with this new story and my team is on my head thinking it's true. Me sticking a piece of a toy in your blank while you were asleep was pretty out of control," which was the allegation that Kim made about him. So it's giving very much like criminal vibes if you're going to go and do that to someone who's sleeping. I mean, that's never allowed. Kim ended up replying to Ray J, and if you want an example of gaslighting, here is your perfect example, because she claims that the situation where she accused him of putting something up her behind when she was asleep was all a joke. She said, "I never said a single bad thing about you. You pretty much said in the show that he was threatening to release this tape about you that involved you, of you guys together." She also clarifies that her "burned them to the ground" comment was a generalization to anyone threatening to hold this over my head. So I think that's like a little overstep. Like, it sounded like you were saying that you were going to burn Ray J's team to the ground. Like, and his team, he said clearly that they are struggling. "My team is demanding me to respond to what's out there before it gets worse. How do I respond?" She says, "I completely understand and I appreciate hearing this from you. I want you to know there's nothing I wish but the best for you." How do you respond, Kim, though? She claims she spoke to her team and they will get something out tomorrow morning to clarify that this was a joke and that you would have never done something like this. I hope this helps. I'm sorry to hear that how this has affected you. So she seems to be apologetic, but like, the deed is done, Kim. Ray J brings up a good point in his messages to Kim. Like, how do I explain to my daughter and my son, like, these allegations? Like, everyone's talking about it. You're pretty much the most famous person right now. How do I explain myself whenever I'm being accused? And then his children are probably being asked about this situation. Ray J goes on to say that you can't pay him any money. There's no apology. It's done. Like, everything's been done, and this man was pretty much exploited, which sounds really crazy because he like did this tape with Kim and they milked it into this huge controversy that's now spanned over 2 decades of drama, 2 huge television shows that start on the premise of this issue, and he has been forced to be silent the entire time because of whatever agreement he had. And there's no doubt in my mind that Kim is pursuing legal action against Ray J and probably using that contract that he signed against him. And of course, Kim and Chris had nothing to say when the Daily Mail reached out to them for a comment, which again makes me think that they're going to deal with this legally. But the Kardashians have said some things in the past about these rumors that they supposedly put this deal together. Like, I found one article where they claimed that Ray J is lying because they never made a deal with Vivid Entertainment. Kim Kardashian has always denied signing her consent for the release of the tape, which is questionable since if Vivid had not had her and Ray J's signatures, they would have suffered consequences of a lawsuit. In fact, Kim did initially sue the production company prior to the video's release, but later decided to drop it. Apparently, this is because she and Ray J reached a settlement which reportedly included a $1 million upfront payment and 49% profits from the tape. which would be 49 million. So they got like a really big payout from this tape. There's no doubt in my mind that Ray J benefited from this tape. I mean, of course he did, and he did consent to doing it. But the way that Kim has publicly framed the story is what's wrong here, and why he needed to expose her, and why I'm happy that he did. I mean, it came out of nowhere, and I think it's perfect timing because people have been talking about that situation, and he's not the villain that they try to make him out to be. I mean, he's, you know, I just like the song I Hit It First came back to my head. I think that's about like Kim, where he's like, I hit it first. But anyways, their drama goes way back, and I do think that Kim is on the wrong side here. And I believe that Kris was part of those business deals. I mean, she's the momager for a reason, and probably one of her first most, you know, largest, biggest deals was that tape that was leaked. So comment below what you guys think about this situation, and I'll see you guys in a new video soon. Here's my email if you have any other video ideas for me. Bye guys.